What's going on, everybody? Jason here, and today I've got this 2022 Jeep Wagoneer Series II. Right before we dive into this gorgeous Wagoneer, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you are enjoying these types of videos because it does help with the YouTube algorithm and it does support the channel. With that being said, let's jump into this Jeep Wagoneer and take a look what it's all about. So when it comes to the trim levels that you can get with the Jeep Wagoneer, you can either get the Jeep Wagoneer Series II, which you're looking at, or the Jeep Wagoneer Series III. Now the main difference between the Series II and the Series III is that the Series III will have more standard features, whereas the Series II, you can still get the same Series III features, but you just have to get them in the optional upgrade and the packages that they offer. But if you want to step it up further, you can also go with the 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, which I also did a review on, and I'll link that up above so you can check it out. And the main difference from the Wagoneer compared to the Grand Wagoneer is, of course, the Grand Wagoneer is much more luxurious, premium features and whatnot. Now, when it comes to the Jeep Wagoneer Series II, the standard safety features that you're going to get on this is your active lane management system, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, advanced brake assist, automatic crash notification, blind spot rear cross path detection, full speed forward collision warning plus, park sense front and rear park assist sensors, and your pedestrian cyclist emergency braking. Starting things off in front of this Jeep Wagoneer, you can see the aggressive and unique styling that the Jeep Wagoneer brings. And starting things off at the bottom, you've got kind of a mixture of your aluminum finish with the gloss black finish, and then you've also got the aluminum finish going around the fog lights across the whole bumper, and then of course in the middle there you've got your sensor, and then your parking sensors built right in as well, like I mentioned, the front and rear. If you move up above, you've got this nice iconic 7-slot Jeep grille with the black inserts along with the bright surround finish which goes along the whole grille and even the headlights on this. All of your lights of course are standard with LED lights because why wouldn't they be on these? And just the styling of the headlights just looks really unique and really complements the Jeep Wagoneer lineup. Even your fog lights, if you take a look at them, they've got this nice little pattern, kind of like little cubes stuck together if you want to see it that way, but it does look really nice. And then of course on the hood you've got the Wagoneer lettering that goes across. Taking a look at the Wagoneer from the side view, you can see that this vehicle looks massive, and that's because it's considered an 8-passenger vehicle or a 7 depending on if you choose the option. Regardless, this is a big vehicle, and I like how around the window trim they didn't fully chrome it out. It's only the top section, and then the bottom half and the sides are just black, which is really nice because a lot of chrome in my opinion on this vehicle wouldn't look too great. This has the right amount. And then of course you've got your half gloss black, half body color side mirrors. These also have built-in cameras, and then you've also got your body color door handles along with your proximity keyless entry. Now you can access the keyless entry from any of the door handles, which is really unique rather than just the passenger or the driver's side. As for the key fob, it's exactly like the Grand Cherokee L's. You've got your unlock button, lock button, remote start, tailgate button, and then your panic button. And then on the rear, it'll just say Wagoneer. And I also like how around the fenders, they decided to make it gloss black all around, which kind of breaks out the whole vehicle rather than having it body colored or a different, chrome or aluminum, whatever. This looks way better. And then of course, you've got your Wagoneer badging. This vehicle also comes standard with side steps. I don't know how I feel about that because I think it should be an optional thing that you should be able to get because not a lot of people will enjoy having these, or some people may. And as for your wheels, typically you would get your 20-inch aluminum wheels, but because this Wagoneer has your premium group 1, this is going to give you your 22-inch aluminum wheels, which just look really nice because you've got the aluminum going on and then the gloss black inserts, which make it look way better. And as for your drive ratio, this is a standard 3.21. You're also going to get your anti-spin rear differential along with your differential front axle with disconnect. And the Wagoneer Series II has your Quadra Track 1 system and also your select terrain system, which I'll show you inside. Moving on to your roof, you've got these roof rails which are half chrome half black, and because this has the premium group 1, it's also going to give you your adjustable roof rail crossbars, which I'll show you in the back. Coming to the rear of the Wagoneer, you can really start to see how big of a vehicle this is. And even at the bottom, they've continued on this massive piece of gloss black, which really looks nice and distinctive on this vehicle. You've got your hitch in the center, of course, which is covered, or you can uncover it, and then right above that you do also have have, like I mentioned, your rear parking sensors. And then on tailgate, you do have your badging. And up top, you have these massive Wagoneer letters, which just stand out from the whole vehicle from the back. As for these rear taillights, they're very, very distinctive and very unique looking, of course. And I just love the styling of them because they could have easily just made them massive, but they made them nice and small enough where it just looks nice. And also the Wagoneers come standard with your rear load leveling suspension, which of course is amazing. And you also have your hands-free power liftgate, again, very convenient. And coming into the rear of the Wagoneer, you can see even with the third row seats up, you do have a decent amount of room to put whatever you need to back here because it's a huge vehicle. But if you're not using your third row, you can actually fold these down, and these are actually power seats, which is really nice. You've got buttons back here to fold down your second and your third row. And as you can see, once your third row is down, you've got endless amounts of room back here to put whatever you want to put. And at the back, you've also got your speaker system, which is your standard 8-speaker Alpine system with a subwoofer. You've obviously got your tailgate button back here. And then on the other side, you do have a outlet along with the buttons for folding down the rear seats. And also, if you go ahead and lift up this section underneath this stuff, this is where you'll find your crossbars hidden away. And then of course, you do have a little bit of more room to put small little things back here if you want to tuck them away. Now, as we make our way into the rear of the Wagoneer, you can see even your door trim layout looks pretty unique. At the bottom, you've got a decent amount of storage for obviously to put smaller items, your cup holders and stuff like that. You've got your Alpine speaker back here, and then one right above that up top. And then you've got a leather handrest, of course, with gloss black around your controls. And on the top section, you've got this wood paneling that goes throughout the whole vehicle, and it just makes it feel so premium, along with your chrome interior accent pieces. In order to access your third row, you've got two options. You can either press the button on top near the handrest on the second row, which is a power button, so your seat will come forward, or you can use the little latch at the bottom. And once you do get access to the third row, you can see here it's obviously for 3 people, and even though it's 3 people back here, you can still fit comfortably back here. And of course, these are fully leather seats throughout the whole vehicle. And also back here for the third row, they haven't been forgotten because they've got their own cup holders on both sides. You've also got USB ports, which are also on both sides, and then you do have these buttons here to move your second row seats forward and back in order to get in and out. Also, a part of your premium group 1, inside the vehicle, you're gonna have a 3-panel sunroof, so even the people in the third row are gonna enjoy their own sunroof. Moving into the second row, standard, you're gonna have 8 passenger seating, but you can also get the flexible seating group, which is gonna give you 7 passenger seating instead. And it's gonna give you your third row power seats 60/40 recline, along with your second row seats with tip and slide recline, and your second row seats become heated seats. And as you can see, these seats are super comfortable, so they're perfect for any long family road trips. Now, as for your center handrest, because this is a 7-seater and you have 2 captain chairs in the second row, your center is going to be completely empty, but on the rear center console, you're going to have some venting, of course, along with your heating and cooling temperature controls for the rear, along with your heated seat buttons for the second row, and then some space right below that, along with a 115-volt plug, USB port, and a 12-volt adapter. And then you have additional small storage down below, along with your cup holders for the rear. As for behind the driver and passenger seats, you've got 2 map pockets on both sides for additional small little storage. And then of course, you've got these screens at the back. Now, this is not standard. This is an optional upgraded thing that you can get, which is your rear seat entertainment group. So it's going to give you these 2 nice looking screens. Coming to the front of the Wagoneer, you can see the door trim area is exactly like the rear, of course, just a little bit bigger, or storage space is a little bit more at the bottom with your cup holders. You've got the same speakers, the Alpine speakers in the front, and then above that you do have your window controls and whatnot, along with that nice looking gloss wood finish. And you've got more gloss black up by your door handle, along with your memory seating. As for the front seats, you can just see how comfortable these seats look, fully leather. Now, these seats are heated seats in the front and ventilated seats, of course. As for your interior, you can have 2 different options. You can either get this one, which is your Napa leather black on black interior, or you can get your black with sea salt interior, which I think looks very unique. And then of course, your front seats are also power seats, which is nice as well. Down below, nothing too fancy, just your foot pedals along with your hood latch release up in the left corner. more. And moving above that, you do have your electronic parking brake, of course. Further up, you've got your lighting controls and your fog light controls along with your dimmers right next to it. And then you have your foot pedal controls, which are power adjustable. As for the steering wheel, this steering wheel is power adjustable. Entering into the Wagoneer, you've got this clean looking dashboard, of course, and then you've got your speakers in the both corners. You've got this nice little pattern all along the top of the dashboard, which kind of breaks it apart. And you can really see the attention to detail that Jeep did. Even around the vents, you've got a ton of gloss black, and then you've got more of your shiny gloss wood trim at the bottom. And this is across the whole dashboard, so it looks amazing. As for your center gauge cluster, this is a fully digital gauge cluster, which I think is the only way to go, especially nowadays. It's a 10.25 gauge cluster, so it's a really decent size. And as you can see, even around the corners, you do have these nice light illuminations, which just make the center pop out even more. And in the center gauge cluster, just like any other vehicle, and I've shown this on even the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, you can move things around. You can change the display of how you want to see your speed and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in the center here and just make it your own. Have whatever you need to have in front of you rather than looking away on your center screen or whatever it is. And even using your navigation, you do have your map built right into your gauge cluster, which just looks amazing. When you go ahead and start up the Wagoneer, you've got this nice animation that happens in the center gauge cluster. As for the steering wheel, this is a fully leather steering wheel, and of course it's heated. You've got kind of like this flat bottom-ish type thing going on, and then in the center there, you do have more of that shiny wood trim. And then of course, you've got your blacked out Wagoneer badging right there. On the left side of the steering wheel, you've got controls for your center gauge cluster, like I've shown you. Beside that, you've got your Bluetooth settings, and that middle button there is your favorites menu, a shortcut menu, which brings up different things that you can scroll through in the center gauge cluster. Over on the right side of the steering wheel, you've got your cruise control settings, adaptive cruise control, and all of that good stuff. And then below that, you do have your gear limit selector. Behind the steering wheel on the left side, you've got your typical controls for your indicators and your high beams. And over on the right side behind the steering wheel, you've got controls for your front windshield wipers, the rear ones, and your fluid. And just like the Grand Wagoneer, I love what they did with the engine start stop button. Now typically this will be nothing special, but it's also covered in leather, so you can see the attention to detail in this vehicle. On the center handrest, I like how they put leather where you would typically put your arm, which is really nice. And then in the center, you've got more of the shiny wood trim, which just looks amazing. And it also adds to the luxury factor of the vehicle. And if you slide the center section back, you do have a small little storage area, and you do have USB ports as well inside. But if you go ahead and open up the main section, you've got a decent amount of deep storage space. In front of your center handrest, you've got the whole center section in this gloss wood trim along with your gloss black, of course. But if you go ahead and open up this section, this is where your front cup holders are. And in front of that, you've got your gear selector. These ones do not have your air suspension. As you can see, typically it would be on the right side, but you've got your select terrain system. So your sand, mud, snow, auto, and sport. Above that, you've got a bunch of different buttons. Starting from the left side, you've got your auto stop start button. You've got your lane departure button, traction control, your parking sensors you can turn on and off, tow haul mode. And then this particular one, which I'll show you in a second, has the interactive passenger screen, which you can turn off with that button. Further up, if you were to close this, it's full of gloss black, but once you go ahead and open that, you do have a wireless charging pad in there with some storage on the right side, along with more USB ports. You've got rear USB ports, you've got the HDMI, and then of course a 12-volt adapter as well. Further up, you've got these buttons here for your heating and cooling, of course. And then above that, you've got your 10.1-inch touchscreen, which just looks amazing, covered in gloss black. And this does have the new Uconnect 5 system, which is so much better than the older one because this is so much more crisp, cleaner, and responsive. Also with the new system, you can add pages, you can rearrange your home screen, you have different layouts that you can choose, so it's perfect. If you go into your media section, you've got obviously your AM, FM, Sirius XM, and then now with the Uconnect 5 system, you can connect up to 2 phones at the same time. Moving over to your comfort settings here, you can also control your heating and cooling or from the actual buttons below. And on the screen itself, you can also control your heating seats and your vented seats along with your heated steering wheel. And then of course, you have access to control the rear climate control as well from here or from the back. Moving over to your navigation, you've got this nice responsive navigation. And of course, if you happen to be low on fuel, it would also let you know because of this Uconnect 5 system. And now you can also turn it into a 3D map. Over on your phone settings, now with Uconnect 5, you can pair up to 2 phones at the same time. Over on the vehicle tab, you've got a bunch of different things that you can control from here. You can dim your rear view mirror, you can fold your second and third row headrests, you can turn your passenger screen on or off or deny access or whatever, and then also your rear view camera system. You've also got a off-road tab up top, so once you enter that and press launch off-road pages, you can go ahead and see different information about the vehicle, such as your vehicle dynamics. It'll just show you your steering angle, transfer case, and then you've got your accessory gauges. So you'll see all sorts of different temperatures, oil pressures, and whatnot. You've got your pitch and roll section, which if you do end up taking this off-roading or whatever, it will let you know if you're tilted, how much you are. Pretty cool. And then you've got your select terrain section. Here, depending on what you put it in, whether it's snow, auto, sport, or whatever, the image on here will change accordingly. Finally, in your app section, you've got a bunch of different things that you can do. And with the Uconnect 5 system, you do have Alexa built in now. Also now, the touch bar at the top, if you press any of the little buttons, this will bring out a shortcut menu. Also on the screen itself, you have these 4 little buttons on each side where you can control where you want your heated seats coming from or your ventilated seats, so you can control the different zones. And then of course your heated steering wheel, which is really nice to have just right on the side, very easy access. Something that I find really nice is under your app section, there's a section where you can go on and you can have different displays playing all across every screen. So your center screen, your gauge cluster, and even the passenger interactive screen. And you can choose different things, so aquarium, aurora, fireplace, forest, whatever you want. It's really nice. And this also comes on the Jeep Grand Wagoneers. Up top, you've obviously got your rear view dimmable mirror. Moving further up, you've got a bunch of different controls. You've obviously got your dome lighting. You can open and close your tailgate from here, assist and SOS. You've got your sunroof options, your sunshade options as well. And then of course, in the front, you do have a panoramic sunroof, which is a must-have in any vehicle. Now, moving over to the passenger side and taking a look at the passenger interactive screen, this does have a privacy shade on it, so the driver cannot see your screen itself, but you do have different options in here. So on your homepage, you're going to see your audio, video, HDMI. You're also going to have access to your Uconnect Fire TV, navigation, and your devices, and then also your vehicle cameras. You've also got a notifications tab. Over on your control section here, you can turn your screen on and off. You can change the brightness of it, and then under your wireless headphones, you can connect any type of headphone with this as long as it's obviously wireless. Now, when it comes to what powers these Wagoneers, it's your 5.7 liter V8 engine with e-torque, which is going to give you 392 horsepower with 404 foot-pound of torque. And in terms of how much this can tow, it can tow up to 10,000 pounds, but you'll have to get the available heavy-duty trailer tow package. You've also got this nice looking Wagoneer plaque, shows you where it's designed, built, and a little image of your Wagoneer. And here is the window sticker for the 2022 Jeep Wagoneer Series II. You can see the exterior color, engine options, interior, and all of that good stuff, along with your standard equipment. And as you can see, this has a ton of standard equipment that it comes with. As for your optional equipment, this has a decent amount of upgrades in it, of course. And at the bottom, you do have your price. Now, this is in Canadian dollars, of course, minus any dealer discounts or manufacturing discounts if they are being offered. Well, that does it for this 2022 Jeep Wagoneer Series II. Let me know in the comments down below, do you love this or do you hate this?